Today's topic is really about data. It's about streamlining your data, making sure that you are looking at the right things and that you are able to take all of the inventory data that you have in your business and make it work for you. So that's something that we've been focusing on recently inside of SoStocked. And I'm going to show you some things inside of SoStocked to give you some visuals on it. SoStocked, the way that we've built out the tool, it's the best and fastest way that I know, but maybe if you are not to the point of adopting a software like SoStocked, it's something that you could apply on a spreadsheet level. I'm not sure. Some of these products, I think it would be possible if you got smart about it. And this talk will just basically be familiarizing yourself with what is possible and what types of reports you could be using to leverage. I was on a call recently and asked the question of how many people are using their inventory to make marketing and scaling decisions. And no one at that point felt confident in saying yes, that they were doing that. So that's one of the conversations that I want to start having is, I wouldn't say inventory-led marketing, but inventory-minded marketing. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to talk about customizing dashboards for inventory forecasting and orders. So this is going to be a lot of a kind of a deep dive into the software bit. All right, so this is our SoStocked software, and some of our users were not super familiar with this customization of dashboards. So we've built in a customization of dashboards, and I highly, highly recommend that this is something that you do. We built in a filtering process, and so you can see that we are able to create individual reporting based on the data that we want, right? So we can come in here, we can move the items around, we can move the columns around, we can decide to turn things on, we can decide to turn things off. And I think it's very important for you to remove the clutter from your data. So we've done a lot of work to help to teach you how to remove that clutter, right? So customizing dashboards, that's something that you can do. So for example, if you wanted to build a dashboard that showed specific data in specific order, you could do that. You can also filter this data. So if you are interested in, say, only seeing products from a specific supplier, you can do that. And you can save this as a specialized report. So we would say add new dashboard, and you would say ABC SKUs, for example. And you can save that. You can also save it and make it a favorite. So if I wanted this to be a favorite, if it's not a favorite, it's showing up here. If it is a favorite, it's going to show up above there. So if I make it a favorite, you'll see that it shows up at the top. So that's one of the things that you're able to do with the platform. And then that's something that we carry over into all of our forecasting. So really being able to filter out your data. And Excel spreadsheets have filters too. So that's something to keep in mind, is that if you aren't using SoStocked, Excel spreadsheets have filters. It might help you to use the filtering process there to be able to convey the same types of reports, for example. So we have the same thing going on with our forecasting. If we wanted to filter to see, say, only products in a specific marketplace, we can do that, right? So this is every product that I need to place an order on for a specific marketplace. It's going to show up here. And then we have in the orders, in the order tracker. And the order tracker is very helpful. It's one of those where's my stuff type of things. It shows you what's in production. It shows you what's en route, who is currently in possession of, or where did it come from, right? This came from the ABC supplier. This is coming from a warehouse. This is going to Amazon. This is going to the warehouse. And it shows you just a view, right? But what if you wanted to only see the things that arrived within the last 15 days? You could click a button, create a specific filter that shows everything that arrived within the last 15 days. You could also see a filter for everything that's going to be landing within the next 30 days, right? So those are some of the filters that we have created. And you can just create your own filters. You can hide certain columns. You can show certain columns. And that's all of the dashboard features. And every single one of these other reports up here, the purchase orders, work orders, FBA shipments, and customer orders all have dashboards. So organizing your data and being able to create custom filters is extremely valuable in avoiding the insanity of the amount of data that you have. An additional way of looking at who has your stuff and where your stuff is our inbound shipments report. It'll show what we have inbound to Amazon, what we have inbound to our warehouse. And we also have our inventory on hand report that shows how much inventory you have, where it's at. All right, so if you are a current SoStock user and you're not using these features, I think it would be very valuable for you to start building out custom dashboards. And towards the end, I'm going to talk about some specific dashboards and specific reports you should and could be using for marketing purposes. Inventory, like I said, inventory-minded or inventory-led marketing that helps to increase your cash flow, helps to increase your sell-through, and is a great way to get your marketing team to work with your inventory team so that you're not inadvertently marketing into a stock out. You're not paying for Amazon ads that will then cause your product to stock out, because your inventory team and your marketing team are talking. So that's some important reports that I'm going to show you in a bit. All right, some of the other things that we recently added tags. So I think it's a really good idea to tag your products. We could say, for example, we have specific products that we want to advertise during Christmas. The way to assign a tag would be select those products. In the bulk actions, you assign a tag, and then you can either add tags here or you can create a new one. We could say create Valentine's Day and submit a tag, and then that tag is going to be added to that product so that when I go to, say for example, I want to look at only products with those tags, I can search by tags, and there's my Valentine's tag, and it's going to pull up those products that I just tagged. So I can create specific reports, or I can filter my data, and this could be something that, again, you add to a spreadsheet, right? A tags column, and you can filter it by any product that has a specific tag, or any product that has a specific where the column says Valentine's. And in the spreadsheet, you're actually able to choose a couple of different items on there. So you can create a couple of different tags, and you can choose any of those that are listed. So you can create different groupings. All right. So it's the same thing here if we wanted to group all of our holidays together, right? All right. So the reason that the tags become very powerful is that you can actually come into your forecast and you can sort by tag, say for example, Christmas, and you can see all of those products. All right, let's go to Valentine's Day. Let's see. You can see all of the products that need to be ordered for that specific tag. If you wanted to also come in and make specific changes, for example, you wanted to increase the sales percentage for any product with that specific tag, you can do so. So you can say additional sales growth. I want all of my Christmas products to be marked as increasing by 10%, for example. That is something that can be done. So you can apply changes based on these tags. Right. All right, so that gets into filtering and grouping and tagging. You can also group by, say, supplier. You can group by warehouse, and that's what we have with our warehouse levels. We're grouping by warehouse, and it's going to show everything in the individual warehouses. One of the other things I wanted to show you is not everyone is aware that we're doing grouping by marketplace. So you can see that this shows US, Mexico, and Canada, but these other ones show North America. So what's happening there is that we actually have a region grouping here. And this region grouping allows us to group by North America. So if you're selling using the NARF program, for example, you can group by combining all of those. The inventory is combined, the velocities are combined, so you only need that one number. You can also do, for example, custom groupings. Some people sell in the US and Mexico, but then in terms of Canada, they sell Canada separately. So that would be a separate grouping. So you can make custom groupings as well. And this works for the Brexit. If you're selling in the EU, we've got a Brexit grouping as well. Turning off marketplaces. So this is another thing that can be done with your data. If you don't want to see the data, for example, if you're getting all this data about Canada, for example, and you in Mexico, and you don't sell in those territories, you can come into the settings and you can go to Connected Amazon Store, and you can turn off Mexico and save changes, and then Mexico is going to go away. You're not going to see it anywhere. It's not going to import any Mexico data. Mexico won't be here. It'll just show you the US and Canada. And so that's another way to start cleaning up this data. The data can be, like I said, very overwhelming. So anything that you can do to clean up and condense the data, maybe you don't want to see all of these data points. Maybe you just want to remove them. Maybe you want to switch the order of them, but just start cleaning up some of this data and then go ahead and save it. So you can save the dashboard. If it's the dashboard if you're fine with the dashboard name, you can just save the dashboard with those new changes. If the dashboard is a new dashboard, you would have to go to add as new dashboard. And then if you have a bunch of different pages, if you have over 50 products, I would recommend changing the page count, and you would do that for every single report. So this report, you would change it to 100, and then you would save it, save dashboard. And then even when I go to this report, it's going to be at 50, and then I want to change it back to this one, and it's still at 100. So when you go to a new report and you make that change, you'll have to go in here and save it. And then ever after, until you change it back, it's going to always be using that setting. Okay, and then I did talk about reports. So this is something that I probably will film another video about. I'm very passionate about the subject of reporting and using reports to help to guide your marketing. So we've always talked about adding your marketing plans into your inventory plans. Inside of the forecast, you can, add additional sales growth. You can add trends, right? You can add lightning deals. This could also be email campaigns that you have. This could be, working with influencers. You select your dates, and then you choose how many units you think you're going to sell in addition, and then you add those. The other feature that we have talked often about is your seasonal sales spikes. So you can see that you can add a Christmas spike. You can add even a decrease, a negative, and those are going to show up inside of your forecasting and factor themselves in. So all of that is applying your marketing to your inventory. It's sort of marketing-minded inventory planning. What I'm starting to talk about now is inventory-minded marketing plans. That's something that's a little different. It's specifically taking inventory data, and using it to help you make marketing decisions. So often what happens is we focus on our hero products. We focus on the products that are doing well for us, but then there are some products that are maybe just limping along. They might be costing us fees. They might be just sitting there with money tied up. And so we want to get those sales to increase. We want to get the sell-through to improve. Sell-through improving is going to help our IPI limits, our IPI score rather, and it's just going to be better for business. So one of the things that I recommend is looking at a couple of different reports. There are a couple of different reports that you should be sending to your marketing team, or your marketing team should be logging in and looking at. And if you're not using SoStocked, it's something that you can send them in terms of if you've got a good tracking system or a logging system for your inventory and for your velocity, it's something that you can send to your marketing team as well. But we'll start with essentially our stockouts, our future stockouts report. This is a default. This is not something that you have to build as a custom report. The other reports I'm going to show you are custom reports. This is a default. Stockouts future. You're going to find it at the top as one of the favorites. It's going to pull up anything that has a potential risk of stocking out. So it's using the potential stockout days are greater than 0. And you can see there are a couple of different stockout days. So these are potentially going to run out of stock. I can see by looking at this 1 day and 4 days, those are things I can likely avoid. I can send this list to my marketing team and tell them that there's going to be a potential stock out. Maybe we can ease up a little bit, maybe, make some changes to the bids. Maybe some of those bids that are costing you more, are more a cost than you like, maybe lower some of those bids and do less spending on the marketing side, keep more of your money and avoid stocking out for that period of time. 27 days may be a little bit harder to avoid, but it's something maybe you can slow down the sales, and maybe you can find a way to get the inventory to Amazon faster, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Just send a stock out risk report to your team, to your marketing team. Your inventory team should have it, but your marketing team should also have it. And that way, when they go to do their marketing planning, they're not driving sales on a product that's about to stock out. That happens a lot, is that the marketing team is not talking to the inventory team and they drive the inventory straight into a stock out. So this would help to avoid that. Do it on a weekly basis, send it on a monthly basis, whatever works for you. But having a stock out risk report sent to your marketing team can be extremely valuable. The other thing that can be valuable is creating an overstock report. Right. So what we're filtering here is we're looking at the days left on Amazon being greater than, say, 90 days. We're at 90 days as a overstock, and we're considering 90 days as overstock. This is a report that you can then send to your team, and your team can see what is overstocked and make the decision that they can actually drive sales on these particular products. And even perhaps, looking at it a little differently. It's not just a matter of looking at, can you afford to make the change? Can you afford the inventory? You're also considering, one, you want to move inventory maybe at a lesser profit, but two is you're recovering some of that cash, you're getting some of that capital back, and you're also potentially gaining rank. So maybe the ranking is not that great on the product, but you have a ton of it. You might be able to revive that product and get that product more ranking, because it's either have it sit and be a slow seller and not be doing a lot for your business, or drop the margins a little bit and really push that product and see if you can do something with it. Because we tend to focus on, like I said, the hero products, the winning products, but sending those, it shifts the focus. It starts to make us look at our entire catalog and marketing across our entire catalog, and really thinking about cash flow. And can I get some of that cash back and put it into something that's really going to work well for me, right? Another product that I can invest in. So having an over 90 days or an overstock report, whatever overstock means to you, setting up those filters can be very valuable. And this is a custom report. So this is something you would have to build into the system yourself, but it's simply days left on Amazon greater than 90 days or whatever. And of course, you always want to keep status as active. Okay, the last report I wanted to show you is a liquidation report. This is a report that you can create. This is not a default report. This is a report that you would create yourself, and that would be to have your status as active, and then adjusted velocity is less than, say, 5, for example, whatever it is for your business. It might be 1, it might be 20, it might be 5, whatever it is for your business, you would create a liquidation report. And this would be products that are moving so slowly that it's maybe not worth it to keep these products around. Maybe you're going to sell out of these products and you're just going to move on. Well, it would be good to print out or to send this type of report. And again, you can export these reports, right? Using the cloud button, you can export the reports to Excel. Focusing on taking these and getting your money back, right? It's going to cost you in fees. So you just want to get your money back from those particular products. And that would be the final report for now. We can come up with some other smart reporting, and I'm going to keep my mind focused on, what other types of reporting would be extremely helpful for cash flow and helpful for scaling and helpful for improving sell-through. But these are the 3 reports so far that we have identified that would be extremely valuable for the marketing team to receive from the inventory team. If you have some feedback on some other reports that you have created, for example, send them our way. If you have some smart ideas on how you're looking at the reporting, or how you're filtering things, or how you're grouping things, I'd love to hear that. I'm sure the community would love to hear it. It's really all about being able to be smarter with how you're looking at your business and take action on that. If you have any other questions or any bright ideas or anything like that you think the community would like to hear, that would make things work better, faster, less chaotic, or help to improve marketing abilities or help to improve bottom line, let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I look forward to being able to present to you again. Thanks for listening. Bye.